And what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez 405 coming at you on a Tuesday, almost Wednesday, almost a Warpath Wednesday, but not yet. We here at On the Warpath have something that we're getting ready to unleash, like Fury, like Carson Wentz on the defense last night. We got to thinking. Well, Amir got to thinking. I'm not going to take any credit for this because this is Amir's brainchild.
It's a collaboration. It's all good.
It's still. I'm going to give you credit, man. That this is your idea, and I'm like, this sounds really good. Amir has credentials after going winless in multiple fantasy leagues for multiple years. He decided, in his way, the same way he thought the Redskins were going to go 2-14 this year. He thought that he could give us fantasy advice. And we are going to go with this, and we're going to see where it goes. Of course, we're going to take comments, see what you think, see what you like. I would advise you that if you think that we are crazy, you know we are, I would not bet your home or anything else on this right now. I would say, hey, kids, make sure you, just don't make sure this isn't a money league, because you can't blame us for lost wages or anything like that. This will be a disclaimer. So if you lose your house, your wife, your kid, if you go MC Hammer, bro, it's not our damn fault. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about fantasy football. We're going to talk about players, movers, and shaking. What's up, Don Head, Panthers Nation? They are looking really good after that big victory in Chicago. Or, yeah, they didn't. Yeah, or I mean, at least Trubisky didn't only complete 4 passes. Oh, he did that too. But anyway, guys, we're off and away. And Amir, how are we going to do this pretty much? Hey, you talked to me about it, but just tell the folks at home how we're going to go over this on a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis. So welcome all to the first edition of Fantasy Tuesday Takes for On the Warpath. What we're going to do is we're going to break down some of the highlighted fantasy players from each matchup and give our advice on the matchup itself and if you should start a set of players or not. And at the end of every video, I will give my perfect lineup prediction. We'll see how hugely wrong or close I am to said prediction on the following Tuesdays. So it's something a little fun we're gonna come up with. It is fantasy.
Yeah.
I have not gone winless, thank God. I've always made it to the playoffs. I have won. I was back-to-back champion in 14 and 15, and I placed third in all 3 of my leagues last year.
So he's got credentials. He's got as much credentials as the Nationals do in the playoffs.
Oh, his best credentials is Bruce Allen.
Yeah, this is true. But he is going to show you how to win off the field, and this is going to be really exciting. I mean, not only are we going to talk about fantasy on here, we're going to inject a lot of comedy into it because you got to have a good time with this, and it's kind of a takeaway from just focusing on the Redskins, which we love. We'll go over that game in depth always on Wednesdays. And, coming up here pretty soon, we're going to start doing picks. Well, I'm going to start doing picks on Thursdays probably Thursday mornings and getting those up for you guys. That's in the works. But, Amir, first off, we're going to start a semi-big game coming up on Thursday night. The Miami Dolphins traveling to the Charm City, Baltimore. Joe Flacco kind of consistent quarterback over the last couple of years. He's had injuries, but prior to, I'd say, 2013, the man was pretty good fantasy quarterback. Now he's kind of taking a dip down. I've seen some leagues, he's only averaging maybe like 5 points a game. They really don't have that running back situation straightened out. And also, and you look at Miami, the great suffering of Jay Cutler, although the team doesn't look like they're in shock. He's played okay. They've got Jay Ajayi. They've got two great receivers, and Parker and Landry. What are your thoughts on this game coming into it? What
Well,
players stand out to
definitely,
you?
this is one of the games I want to stay away from personally, unless you
Mm-hmm.
have one of the two following players. On the Dolphins, if you have running back Jay Ajayi, and on the Ravens, you have kicker Justin Tucker. The reason being is because the Ravens have been giving up about 150 yards game rushing
Mm-hmm.
lately. So I'm more inclined to want to go with the star running back of the Dolphins for that matchup, especially with Matt Moore starting. Even though I thought Matt Moore is more of a capable quarterback than Jay Cutler.
Let's be honest, Josh McCown's more of a capable quarterback than Jay Cutler. RG3 is a more capable quarterback than Jay Cutler.
I don't want to go that far.
I'm just saying. Well, but so you're talking.
At least one leg. At least one leg.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And I've noticed a lot. Justin Tucker, while he's a great kicker, he hasn't been getting a lot of opportunities, though. It looks like in Baltimore, just the ineptitude of the offense there.
This is true, and we don't know. I believe Mike Wallace is going to be out of this game as well, so that's one of their major weapons. Jeremy Maclin was out on Sunday, I believe, when the Ravens were shut out at home, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's they're down weapons, and I definitely called it earlier in the year. I think John Harbaugh is going to lose his job this year at the end of the
Right,
season.
yeah, you did talk about that early in the year. And folks, if you see me moving around here, I'm trying to get my power supply set up. So basically, who you're looking at in this game right here, Ajayi for Miami, and then I guess Justin Tucker as the top fantasy go-getter for the Baltimore Ravens in the color rash game.
That'd be correct. Yes.
All right. Okay. So we move along here, and we go into
we go to the London game.
Yes.
The London game will be early in the morning.
Yes, just in time for tea and crumpets.
Aye, just in time for tea and crumpets.
Oh,
And the good football of America.
Is that Scottish? I think it was
Scottish, Irish, and wibbly wobbly.
Don't say it's all the same now. You get us in trouble if you say that. So. But this game looks like it's going to be a dump.
There we go.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but this game looks like it's going to be a dumpster fire. And I mean,
Brown side, that's for sure. I mean, they don't know who's going to start a quarterback. I may start for quarterback for the Browns. We don't know. Right. We'll find out. I'll call you from London.
Yes. Case Keenum in this game, he's had some up and down numbers.
Case Keenum's been pretty solid this year. He's only thrown one pick. And he's thrown about, I think, 5 touchdown passes, maybe more than that now. I'll have to double check the stats there. But who I like in this game, no one on the Browns. Browns, I'm fairly certain Alabama or like Ohio State University could probably beat the Browns.
You're talking about the Ohio State University?
Yes, the Ohio State.
The Ohio State. Gotcha. So,
so on the Viking side, I do like quarterback Case Keenum, running back Latavius Murray now that Dalvin Cook is out for the year.
McKinnon maybe
Diggs is still out, so Adam Thielen should be getting a lot of targets. You should be looking for him in not only standard scoring but PPR leagues.
White chocolate, baby. I love number 19. Number 19.
The former Washington Redskin kicker Kai Forbath, who scored a good amount of fantasy points last week, should continue on, and at least get you a good 5 to 8 points this week, I think.
Nice.
And then we have Vikings defense / special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely have 5 picks from the Vikings, and that's just because the Browns hardly even qualify as an NFL team.
Well, if you could pick defensive coordinators, maybe as your fantasy, I would probably take Greg Williams just because he's likely to kill somebody out there, so that's always good.
Or at least hire somebody to kill somebody.
Exactly.
Or encourage you saying, "Hey, I'll increase your allowance if you do this."
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is true. Money.
Money.
OJs. Yeah, but
so
that's
Vikings Browns. Next, I got Raiders versus Bills.
The Raiders and Tyrod. He's coming off a victory, and I
actually like Tyrod.
It's kind of hard. You do. Tyrod in this game against the Raiders defense, where they gave up 30 points.
At least 20.
Yes.
They give up at least 22 points to opposing quarterbacks.
And then you have Shady McCoy there as well, in that backfield. Yeah. The receivers, I know I don't know that much about the receiver. I know that they gave up Sammy Watkins this year. Richard or Robert Woods, whatever his name is, he went over to LA as well too in the offseason. But I think their bread and butter pretty much is going to be those two guys right there, and Derek Carr. Marshawn Lynch won't play.
Marshawn Lynch will not play. If you're going to pick up a Raiders running back on waivers because for some reason you're starting Marshawn Lynch, I'm not going to judge you, just a tiny bit. But
right.
If you're starting Marshawn Lynch, then I would pick up Jalen Richard.
And the Washington kid too.
Especially if you're in a PPR league. Carr has been known to check down to Richard in the past a lot. So if you're in a PPR league, there shouldn't be a reason why you're not picking up Richard at least for this week. Also on the Raiders side, he gets a lot of end zone, a lot of red zone targets. Would be Crabtree,
right?
Even though he is even as mediocre as he can be.
Amari Cooper had a monster game, although he has struggled this season. I actually do have him in one of my leagues, and I was a fool and left him on the bench, and actually probably wound up losing that game too. I'm going to go actually look at it right now, and I think I did lose this game. But
I had him on the bench for that game, and then I remembered it was Thursday Night Football. I'm like, oh, I need to check my lineup, and the wide receiver I had in place of him was on a bye, and I'm like, oh. It's 5:24 p.m. my time. Kickoff is 5:25 p.m. So I'm like, oh dear God, please, Sprint, do not fail me now. And I was able to switch out from Amari Cooper at the last second. Thank you, 33 points.
And I actually did win that game with Amari Cooper on the
You won him with on the bench.
Yes, I won with him on the bench, and my team, Cosby's knockout punch, won by 12 points. Don't ask about the name; it's just how it is. Also, I do have another team. It's called Joe Buck Yourself, and yeah, and Joe Buck Yourself got bucked last. I don't pay attention to it because I don't make money off of it. But I don't have a Charles Barkley problem. I'll let you guys know that. It's just how this is what I see, and this is how I see it coming. And I love You know, oh gosh, I have massive amounts of issues. But we move on to looking at a bounce back game. Both of these teams have lost to the New England Patriots in the back-to-back weeks as the Falcons will complete their nightmarish run against the AFC East in their fourth consecutive week. Um, they will go to the Jets. Matt Ryan probably gonna have a bounce back game.
I would
I
agree.
would think. Um,
I
and
think Julio
Julio,
finds his stride this game finally.
yes, there is a rumor that NYPD will have snipers on the roof if he tries to steal a ball from any defender in the end zone, Julio Jones. And then you have Devonta Freeman as well. Um, I mean, and didn't talk about it. I think the Falcons' defense might have a field day. Also, yeah, I mean, Josh McCown's been playing pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and him and Javon Curse. But if you can take away Javon Curse, he really doesn't have anybody to not Javon Curse, Jermaine Curse. Um, just really, he won't have anybody to throw to pretty much. And Matt Forte, I mean, you know, the aging wonder that he is. So,
If you're actually going to take a running back from the Jets, I would actually take Bilal Powell.
well,
He's been pretty solid. He getting at least about 50 yards a game, and he's usually their goal line back.
Yeah.
So I would take Powell in that game. I definitely agree with Matt Ryan, Julio, and Freeman. If you actually have Freeman, I would handcuff him with Tevin Coleman
Mm-hmm.
on the Falcons. I would always just run both of those. You're more than likely going to get at least 10 points from both each. So, and then sometimes one might score a touchdown versus the other. So you don't want to be like, oh man, I should have put him in. Handcuff them. They're a good handcuff.
Very good. Nice. Okay. And so those would be who you have in that those are the players that you take, the running backs, Julio. A player that I've noticed on the rise and who could be worth a look at, Mohamed Sanu.
Sanu's not a bad option if you don't have Julio.
He's your only
Julia's
option
upside
if you
for
don't have
fantasy is so
Julio.
good. I mean, so that's why I'm so high on Julio. But Mohamed Sanu isn't that bad, especially because they decide to go crazy if they can't get this offense going. Decide to go like wildcat and
Right.
Wildcat quarterback. I mean, we saw him throw that touchdown pass to AJ Green in 2012.
Yes. Oh yeah, at FedEx Field. That I remember that when he was a member of the Bengals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of the more interesting games, and it could be a toss-up game. You got a lot of talent, big armed quarterbacks. You got a scat back who can be a receiver. And then you've got some deep threats on this other team as well. Talking about the Panthers, talking about the Buccaneers, two of the premier quarterbacks.
Two of the premier quarterbacks, yes.
Yeah.
The only quarterback I would take from this game, honestly, is
Mm-hmm.
Newton.
Shoulder injury to Winston.
Shoulder injury to Winston, and also just Cam's ability to run. You just can't really just count that out. And Winston isn't that much of a runner. From the Bucs side, I do like O.J. Howard, Mike Evans, and because Panthers' defense has been so terrible as of late, I do like Deshaun Jackson. This may be Deshaun Jackson's first long bomb touchdown of the year.
Yeah, this team
throwing the ball.
Right, and this team has.
If it is Fitzmagic can let that ball air out. Who he airs it out to is a completely different story. But
So you're basically telling me to take the Panthers defense then if Fitzpatrick plays.
If Ryan Fitzpatrick plays for the Buccaneers, take Carolina's defense. Yes.
Take care of us. I got you. But you know, for Tampa Bay, they've been an underperforming defense offense all year long.
Someone who was going to be who
Yeah,
was supposed to be NFC South favorites actually.
right.
Everyone thought they were going to be like they could possibly even get to the conference championship with
Yeah,
just what they added. They have just not been good this year.
yeah. I'm telling you right now that that stuff ain't happening. But maybe if they put some crab legs in the end zone, maybe we might see some
Or a
added
public
effort.
sign.
Yes, yes, or public sign. Um, that says free for every touchdown pass scored. But and then you kind of go on, and we mentioned the Patriots earlier, and they host the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles, or the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. However, you
Of
want to,
Inglewood.
yes, of Inglewood. That play they play. They're playing football in a football stadium. American football in a
In a
football
football.
stadium. But they will be at Gillette Stadium. The Patriots coming off a big win against the Falcons. Chargers, winners of 3 in a row. Their defense has been on point. They shut out Denver. They've got Melvin Gordon. They've got Phillip Rivers, who sometimes, and then they even got an up and comer in Hunter Henry on the Chargers that I have on my bench, but I feel like he can be serviceable at times.
I agree. It's it's just kind of it's weird. This is a weird matchup for me. Because it
Uh-huh.
is in Foxborough, but that's where the two Patriots losses have happened was at home.
Right.
So like this kind of and even though the Chargers are 3-4 now, it's they're not necessarily a bad 3-4 team. So this has the. Do you smell that, Sanchez? It
What's
smells like
that?
a trap game.
Trap game?
It smells like a
Oh,
trap
no.
game.
No, I think New England. I don't.
Even though I
I
would start Tom Brady
Yeah.
if you have him.
Yeah.
As far as fantasy picks for this matchup, have the following Chargers players: Philip Rivers, Hunter Henry, as you so spoke.
Yes.
Definitely go with them if you have them.
Tyrell Williams too. He can be a little sneaky in that mix there.
Tyrell Williams can be sneaky. I just think that the New England defense has gotten fixed now. Over the last few weeks, they have allowed a combined average of like 11 points. So their defense is definitely getting better from scoring wise. But Tyrell Williams is another good one. On the Patriots side, of course, you have the GOAT. You got Tom Brady. I would go with any of those 3 wide receivers that they have: Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, or Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Gronk,
Yeah.
come on. And
Don't pick any Patriots running back, whether
do
it
not
be
pick the Patriots running back. Yeah.
don't do it. Dion Lewis. You've
James
got
White,
Gillisley,
Mike
James
Gillespie,
White,
Rex Burkhead.
Burkhead. They will, and that's why this team is so good. They've got all these running backs, and they really don't care about running the ball. If you would go with a running back that I did do, I said I didn't do that much research, but I did do a little bit of research on Dion Lewis. He is getting a bulk of targets from the running back spot, and he does have that ability to catch the ball out of the backfield as well and line up as a receiver. So, I mean, if you're looking at a running back, if you just need somebody to squeeze in there, it'll probably be Dion Lewis because Gillislee's like the goal line guy, the goal to go guy. Burkhead can mix in there, probably in the red zone a little bit. James White, him and Dion Lewis, those are probably the guys you're going to look at if you do want to take some. I'm not saying take one of them, but that would be who I would go with in the backfield for the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree. I also have on here just as another little hot take, the Patriots defense, just in case. Patriots defense somehow always finds a way to get to the quarterback. They always find a way to create turnovers. So for some reason, I just like the Patriots defense in this game.
And I would have to agree with you. And you talk about dominant defenses, and it kind of moves us on to another dominant defense. You talk about being a good 3-4. You go to a good 0-7 team in the 49ers. They go to Philadelphia. I'd say take Philadelphia's defense, take Carson Wentz, take I think Alshon Jeffrey might have a little bit of things to do in there. Take Zach Ertz. I really can't think of anyone on outside of Carlos Hyde on the 49ers to take. I don't know who you have.
The Eagles have the best.
Really? Huh?
I would bench Carlos Hyde this week if you have him.
Oh, well, I will go in there and bench him right now.
To be honest, I would, and also on the Eagles, I like Blunt this week. I mean, who doesn't like a little Blunt?
Who doesn't like the Blunt? I tell you one thing, I don't like Blunt here because you're in San Francisco. They legalized marijuana in California. And
no, it's their home in Philly.
It's still, well, they still like to hit. They still like to hit joints, and they'll hit that Blunt, man. But we'll see. I mean, that is a safe bet to pick LeGarrette Blunt. The man is like a human plow, so I think he'll have a decent game. He might get a score in there against the Eagles. Indeed. I mean, against the 49ers. It is late here on the East Coast, by the way.
Oh, good, my friend. One of the also matchups that I think you should stay away from, but I'll give you some takes on them anyways, just a few, is Colts versus Bengals.
Who they think they're going to beat them Bengals? Everybody. Yeah, this game looks like a trash fire waiting to happen. Every crackhead in the world who says that, oh, Brissett, he's like a great quarterback. No, he's not. He's terrible. I'm in a 2-quarterback league, and because the quarterbacks are drained out, where I had Cousins, I had Sam Bradford. You know how that's ended. So I had to get relegated to Jacoby Brissett because I don't trust Case Keenum.
Maybe you should this week.
Yeah, maybe I should. Yes, I might. I'm going to keep him in that hole, that number 2 hole there. I mean, if you had to pick somebody, like, I mean, this is like, you're digging through the trash trying to find scraps. Yes, this is like the bubblegum on the shoe. This game right here, I don't see anybody I mean, somebody's going to rise to the occasion. They just have to. It's not going to be like a Tennessee-Cleveland game. They're going to have to rise to this occasion. And somebody's going to come out there. I mean, do you even think – what about on the Bungles? What do you think?
If anyone does, it's going to be the Bongles. I'm going to go just the regular pairing of Dalton and Green. I mean –
yes. Ineffective Dalton, who really has regressed a lot in over the last couple of seasons. Start out the season
because there's new ginger in the league. That's why.
Carson
Wentz. He's taken
Yes.
all of the ginger powers from Andy Dalton.
Yes. Well, he's going to have to grow dreadlocks and get dreadlock powers now.
Right.
So, um,
I just imagine Andy Dalton with dreadlocks. It was really funny.
yeah, this would be funny.
The only player
You
on the
know,
Colts I would take would be T.Y. Hilton. That's it.
T.Y. Hilton. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Especially
that's
HTTR.
yeah. Yeah, I think Ty he'll be that key point. Oh man, but that's probably the nightmarish fantasy game of the week there, and
Other than Dolphins Ravens.
right, and also we talk about we going into just to wrap up the 1 o'clock slates. Um, the Chicago Bears go to the New Orleans Saints, and boy howdy, are the Saints scoring up some points, boys. Drew
Yeah.
Brees.
Drew
Um,
Brees looking like 2009 Drew Brees.
and they've got Alvin Kamara down there as well. I think Michael Thomas
Yeah.
is another target. Cody Fleener's the tight end, but he's really not going to get a lot done. They've got Ingram as well, Mark Ingram, and I mean this team. I mean the Saints are looking like legitimate playoff contenders, looking like the best team out of the AFC South. And then you have the Bears as well. Mitch Trubisky only completed 4 passes, but the defense scored all their touchdowns and held them to 3 points, held Carolina to 3 points.
Yeah, that defense scored 30 points. Can you believe that? 30 points in
That's
fantasy.
crazy. That is amazing. And he
That's insane.
and then you look at New Orleans just a couple weeks ago, they scored probably on the best team in the AFC North. They put up 52 points, gave up 38, but it scored like
Yeah.
36 points in fantasy because like all these points came from turnovers in the end zone. I think they like strip
They had
fumbled.
like three defensive touchdowns or something like
Yeah,
that.
so it's kind of amazing, but I mean, stay away from the Bears in this, I would assume.
Um, pretty much. Just in case, I would do Bears defense.
Mhm.
If you are short on defenses and all you have
The
left is
Bears defense,
like
really?
the if all you have left is the Bears defense and the Browns defense to choose from, go with the Bears.
Well, that's like
Why would you put yourself in
that's
first
like
place?
choosing whether to get shot in the foot or the hand. I mean, either way, you're probably going to lose. So,
Probably, but you're less likely to lose with the Bears. Would you rather walk with a limp or not be able to like
hey man, but it'd be a pimp. It'd
cook
be
a
like a
proper
pimp.
risotto?
You could call it a pimp walk. And as we pimp walk into the 4 o'clock hour, we go to
One more
the
pick
great.
there, Jordan
Oh,
Howard.
Jordan Howard. Okay,
Jordan
on
Howard,
the
running back for
Bears.
Bears.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you with all the Saints players: Drew Brees, Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Mark Ingram. So
Yeah, and then we go to the 4:05 hour, the Sanchez hour, and it is the upstart Houston Texans going up against Russell Casino Royale Wilson, and I mean, I like Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to come down to earth this week. What do you think?
I don't think so. I'm
Really?
full team Watson all the way. I actually in 2 of my 3 leagues I picked him. I was able to pick him up on the waiver wire a while back, and I have not regretted it since. If you are starting Watson against Seahawks, start him with Will Fuller.
Hmm.
Will Fuller has in the last 3 games that they played has a touchdown pass in each game. Or has a touchdown
Talking
caught in
about
each game.
dreadlock powers too.
Mm-hmm.
They've got them all.
Seahawks, of course, just because you always need to take Seahawks defense if you can.
Yep.
Take their defense. I would take Russell Wilson in this game because of his ability to scramble.
And they're at home.
And they're at home. And I like Jimmy Graham in this
My
game.
man. I have Jimmy Graham. He is
There you
my
go.
man. and then you've got Paul Richardson and Doug Baldwin. Is
Oh no,
Baldwin still hurt?
I'm not high on Baldwin and Richardson this week. I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. And then in the classic, we move on to our game, America's game of the week, as the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys meet for the first time this season. And I mean, it's going to be all offense in this game. You got Dak Prescott, you got the Lady Groper in Crop Top and Zeke Elliott. You've got Mama beating Des Bryant. You've got Jason Witten. You've got hell. You could even throw Alfred Morris in there if you wanted to. You've got if you need a fantasy offensive line, you could put the Cowboys on there for the Redskins. Yeah. I really do think Jordan Reed showed that he's back. Kirk Cousins. You want to take Chris Thompson in that game? Josh Doxson, he could be a sleeper. I mean, you've got a lot of options offensively on this team. I mean, heck, you could even throw Vernon Davis in there for the burgundy and gold.
I actually like Vernon Davis this week in this matchup.
Yes.
I like him a lot. I only picked 3 players from each side, just because of the sheer number that who you could take on each.
Exactly. Mrs. Beasley.
On the Cowboys, I have Dak Prescott, Jason Witten, and Des Bryant.
No Zeke.
I'm not picking Zeke, is because last night showed, if anything, Redskins' run defense is for real.
I like what you think, but I mean, and I'll argue this with you. Zeke is a dual threat, though, and we've seen that the Redskins don't really pick up well on passes out of the backfield, and I think that that could be a crutch for whoever plays against him. If you've got a dual threat running back, like we said, I really do think that he could be serviceable in that game.
I would agree on that at least. On the Redskins side, I do have Chris Thompson, Vernon Davis, and Jordan Reed. I'm not sure if Jordan Reed is back per se, as in, guess who's back? Back again. But
Jordan's back. Tell a friend.
Yeah. But he did catch 2 passes for touchdowns last night. Plus, he had a couple of
nice runs.
Garbage time. So,
so that'll be a fun. I think we'll see a lot of points.
The only reason why I don't like Kirk Cousins in this game,
and
usually I'm pretty big on Kirk Cousins in fantasy. He usually puts up fairly decent numbers in fantasy, anywhere from 18 to 20-something points. I don't like him in this game because he has never particularly played well against Dallas at home.
He's never really played particularly well against Dallas. Well, he did play last year against them in Dallas well, but I look at wins and losses. So.
Right. He has since becoming the starter. He is 1-3 against Dallas, and that was that one was the Week 17.
Where they had nobody to play for.
And all of a sudden, the 1 year later, they're like the second coming. Anyways.
Yep.
That's what I have in that matchup. Moving on to the Sunday night game.
Dun, 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 dun. You have the Motor City meets the Steel City. And that's kind of ironic. 2 of the most blue collar cities in America meet up on the real America's game of the week. Steelers and the Lions. Lions coming off
America Great Again Bowl.
Yes, I like this. then Donald Trump will be there at midfield to give the coin toss, and he will.
He will
See,
then he
we'll
will
see
then
how.
fire or deport anybody who is kneeling.
Yes, he will deport. He will fire the SOBs. But a lot of good to like in this game. Um, Le'Veon Bell,
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown at times, Big Ben. Um, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple on the Steelers side. The Lions, I mean, it's a mixed bag of nuts with Matthew Stafford. Would you put him on there because he's coming off the bye?
I
No,
would put him on because he's coming off the bye. Yes. Same thing with Marvin Jones.
starving Marvin Jones.
Starvin Marvin. Also on the Steelers side, another little hot take. I'm liking Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju on that B. Juju on that B. Hide. Get that touchdown. Don't score. Yes. I liked him, and I liked that celebration
That
uh,
was
from
hilarious.
last week. Yes, that was pretty good. I thought the officials were going to flag them.
No, we need to
It,
give a round of applause to the officials for being so cool with all the celebrations.
right. I agree with you. They have been. Um,
Except for Odell pissing on the field.
well, that was it. That was obscene. That was just. I know Joe Buck was probably as upset as that as when when Randy Moss was in the wild card round in '04 against Green Bay, and he mooned the fans, and he got very upset, and he called it a disgusting act. So we might have to put Joe Buck in a safe space.
He
Uh,
might he may need an adult.
yes, he needs an adult. Um, but I think just kind of like the Redskins and the Cowboys, I think this game might be a lot of offense, and we'll see a whole bunch of it. They're going to light up the boards at Ford Field. Might even blow out a couple of bulbs on it too. So we'll see. But um, we really haven't mentioned much, but we haven't included the defenses on here too much. And I think this game on Monday night is going to be a big defensive battle against the Broncos and the Chefs.
Broncos Chefs. I'm not sure about that. I think the Broncos
Really?
have shown who they are. They're coming off a shutout loss against the Inglewood Chargers,
So they're
and
averaging 5 points over their last two games.
yep, pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean, it's just and I would definitely take really no one from the Broncos. Not Simeon, not C.J. Anderson, not Jamal Charles, not even the wide receivers. And and from the Kansas City Chiefs, I do like Alex Smith. I mean, he's shown. Has he even thrown a pick this year?
I think he has. I think a pick.
So
But
just one.
yeah, he's thrown
Kareem
one.
Hunt, even though Broncos' run defense has been fairly decent, Kareem Hunt's just so good out of the backfield, just as a pass catcher too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, of course, just that the Deshaun Jackson twin right there.
Yes,
Travis Kelce.
Action Jackson.
Action Jackson, I miss him.
Yeah.
Tight end Travis Kelce, I like a lot.
Yes.
I accidentally wrote Jason Kelce. Remember, that's like his brother or something like that.
Yeah, he's in Philadelphia.
Right. But I do like Travis Kelce here a lot. I like Travis Kelce a lot here. And the Chiefs defense / special teams. So
I like it. I just think that this game, I was going to get lit up in this one, maybe by a little bit. Both of these teams are going to have to bounce back after crushing defeats. One was closer than the other, but we will see come Monday night how they bounce back. So we talked about it, and we've kind of picked and prodded at the best players on the board. So Amir, if I were to make a perfect roster that I wanted to go on FanDuel and do, who would I be able to pick? And I had no salary cap, and who would make up my perfect lineup?
If you had no salary cap and what it was standard scoring, I'm not going with the HTTR. If any of you pick our questions, please leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer them.
We will respond to them.
What?
I said we will respond to them.
Yes, we'll respond to them. Either leave a comment.
We'll respond to those questions.
On the video below.
No, not on.
Make sure you smash that thumbs up button as well, guys. Or leave a comment on our Facebook page. That is facebook.com/onthewarpath405. Without further ado, my perfect lineup this week. We are going quarterback Carson Wentz, running back Devontae Freeman, running back Alvin Kamara, wide receiver Will Fuller. I am going wide receiver Adam Thielen, tight end Travis Kelce. Flex option, I'm going wide receiver AJ Green. The defense special teams, I'm going Minnesota Vikings. And kicker, I'm going Stephen Hauschka from Buffalo.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like these picks, Carson Wentz to blow up the 49ers. You've got Kamara in there. I think these are a lot of these guys are pretty good. Who would you pick as a defense? I don't think I heard that.
Defense, I have Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings against the Cleveland Brownies there, who we don't know who their quarterback's going to be. It may be Amir across the pond. So
it may be me. I will let you guys know. I will send a picture of a crumpet with a crying Jordan on his face.
This is true, and we need that. But it's been a good
Jordan.
Yeah, or a crying crumpet.
Or crying
eaten by Jordan. You never know. Maybe he's been over there and he's had a couple of his crumpets. So yeah, it's possible. But yeah, and this is I mean, it's a lot of interesting matchups here, especially quarterbacks and with their wide receivers and everything. But perfect lineup, headed by Carson Wentz, looking to have another great week. He might have been the number one fantasy quarterback this week too, this past week. So maybe he will continue that going forward.
Definitely a possibility.
Yeah. And any final thoughts here before we wrap up the first edition of the Fantasy Tuesday takes here?
No, I'd like to thank you, of course, as always, being my comrade in arms and join me on this journey of fantasyness. So.
Oh, you ain't kidding, man. We always got to have fun here. So, yeah.
So we would definitely look forward, and please make sure to tune in tomorrow for Warpath Wednesday.
Woo woo! We're gonna do it early. We got a lot to talk about on Warpath Wednesday, y'all. Did Jay Gruden give up on the season? Are the Eagles really that good? Are the Redskins?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And are the Redskins really still a top 10 team according to some power rankings?
Can Kirk Cousins bounce back? Will he stay in Washington?
This is true. We don't know. We'll find that out probably in March or something on that last one. But we will find out more. And then it's Dallas week, y'all. So it's like having a gay uncle. Everybody's got a Cowboys fan in your family. So make sure you go call them and talk to them, reach out, slap them in the face, and say you are doing this family wrong by being a Cowboys fan. By being a Cowboys fan. That's it.
Whoa.
By being. Let me clarify that. Let me clarify that. By being a Cowboys fan.
We here on the Warpath are tolerant of anybody in their social.
That is true. Amen. Yes, we that is true. I almost caught myself there. But it's like, okay, yeah, it's like having an alcoholic uncle. Here we go. Go out, slap the bottle out their hand, go out and slap that Cowboys paraphernalia, the disgusting awfulness that is the Dallas Cowboys. We will see them, mama beating Dez, women groping, Ezekiel Elliott, and Jason Witten, whatever he does, I don't know, and Dak Prescott. We'll see all those guys. Gonna be a fun show, y'all. Be there or be square. We will be on in the evening sometimes. I don't know, Amir. Depending on the time, you will be here or
Depending
not.
on the time,
We're
I will
not
be
sure.
there.
Okay.
It depends on what's convenient for you as well.
So, all right. So we will do it.
I should be able to take my lunch break in correspondence with it. Before we go, is there any comments in the comment box?
We do not have any comments. Everybody was saying hello. Downhead said hello. Like you said, Panthers Nation. Strong King Log was up, and one of our regular viewers, Paris Hall, and he's like, "Are we up?" I don't know if we're up or not, but we'll find out on Sunday. Excuse me, and we will preview Sunday's game. It's Dallas week, and we got a lot more content coming up later in the week, y'all. So, as always, we love you here. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to click subscribe if you like it. We'll be doing this. It's going to be fantasy. It's going to be a little bit of humor in there as well, too. But love you guys. Love, peace, and hail. And we will be talking to you real soon. We're out.